Andrew and I were talking earlier about Catherine Deves, this battle which has broader implications in terms of this issue of women and girls in sport. Is it something where, and including in Fowler, the seat that you're contesting to represent in southwest Sydney, is this an issue that might resonate with a lot of people, the defence of women and children, girls in sport, as Catherine Deves puts it?
Well, first of all, on the issue of her pre-selection, we've made clear we would have never pre-selected her. Some of her language trying to discuss what is a complex issue in some of the most appalling terms, including referencing Nazis and the Holocaust, is just completely inappropriate. And you know, I stand back and watch the Liberal Party here in New South Wales tearing themselves apart on the eve of an election. Having, you know, Felicity, I can't think of her last name, the member for North Sydney in the state parliament, Liberal, writing op-eds in the Sydney Morning Herald, Matt Keane, the treasurer, you know, begging the Prime Minister to disendorse her. You know, this is a mess on their side, and I'm going to leave it to them to sort out. You know, Kieran, I'm a former female athlete myself and a former sports administrator. And I think that this is an issue that's probably best left to individual sports to sort out. You know, and I think for most parents that I've talked to, they look at this and say, well, what is really going on here? What are the issues? I don't really understand this, or I'm not sure how this relates to my own child.
Sure.
And you know, I think it is really one that the sports themselves, and we should leave sports administrators to speak to this. And I have to say, in all my time in working in sport or playing sport, this is not something that has been raised with me, but you know, certainly I think it's something that sports administrators should be the first point of call in terms of determining if there are issues and how they should be resolved.
Now, to comments made by Anthony Albanese on offshore processing and turning back the boats, he says that process started when he was Deputy Prime Minister. But isn't it true that 4,000 boat arrivals occurred during just that period of his Deputy Prime Ministership? So what faith should voters have that Labor would get it right this time?
Kieran, let me be clear. Labor supports Operation Sovereign Borders and the three pillars that uphold it: regional resettlement, offshore processing, and boat turnbacks where safe to do so. Anyone who tries to come to Australia by boat will not make it. They will either be towed back or they will be sent to Nauru. I can't be clearer than that. What we have here is a desperate Prime Minister in the middle of an election campaign trying to have a desperate debate and manufacture a difference with the opposition where none exists. And he's doing this because he wants to distract from his failures, from his mismanagement, from his incompetence and his corruption. We heard there today your own reporter, Andrew Clunell, asking him about
your leader did give an opening, didn't he? Mr Albanese did give a bit of an opening, and you know that Labor's record on this is not strong.
Anthony misheard a question in a press conference. He's clarified that. He's clarified his answer because he misheard a question. I mean, come on. Give me a break. Scott Morrison got the name of his candidates wrong this week. He got the figure for New Start wrong this week for Job Seeker. He forgot whether he was in Parramatta or Parliament. I mean, give me a break. At this election, people have a choice, and they will see it in the People's Forum in Brisbane that you're hosting. And the choice is this: between an honest Albo and a sneaky Scott. Scott Morrison, you know how you know he's lying? Because his lips are moving. This week we have seen him make a jobs promise. He didn't even meet his last jobs promise. This week we saw him go to a factory in Rydalmere and say, they're expanding. Yeah, they're expanding. They're shipping jobs overseas. This week he went to a boat manufacturer and said, this will create jobs in WA. Except that very company's been reported of using temporary migrants and paying them $10 an hour. So when Scott Morrison talks about jobs, or indeed anything else, he is simply telling lies. And we know he lies. Barnaby Joyce told us he lies. Emmanuel Macron told us he lies. Gladys Berejiklian told us he lies. And those lies, that going missing when people need him, that hurts ordinary Australians.
Kristina Keneally, I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you.